Hello everybody, welcome back to Thruxton. Yes, I do have some very good news. We are about to go racing, it looks like, again. They've just been checking the damaged area on the circuit and it looks like we should have the green flag. About to go racing for the O2 Publishing Coupe Cup, race 2 of the week. And I'm also pleased to say as well, the driver involved in that incident with the trucks is absolutely fine. They did get taken to the medical centre. Nobody's been hurt at all. What has taken the time is just getting the circuit repaired so it's safe to go racing. It does, however, mean there will be no final truck race a little bit later, and there'll be no pickup truck race as well. However, we are going to get our Coupe Cup race, our second Caterham Graduates race, and our MG Owners Club racing as well. So still 3 more races to bring you this afternoon. A lot of track action. Now, you may remember yesterday, of course, we had a pair of rockets, Wayne and Johnny. They've just got to go through a little driver briefing right now because of everything that's happened. They just have to have another driver briefing just to make sure everything is doubly safe. Quick reminder of what happened yesterday in the O2 Publishing Coupe Cup race. Wayne Rocket picking up the win, of course. Mark Ridout came in at second. Johnny Rocket came in third. It was actually Wayne and Johnny who locked out the front row as well. Wayne, the father, Johnny, his son. It's the first time they've ever locked it out as well on the grid. How cool was that? And both finishing on the podium. Now, we'll just pop the camera. I'll just get out a shot. If we just pop the drivers, they're going through a bit of a driver's briefing at the minute. It is customary just to make sure everything is safe. We'll pop it on the driver so you can actually see what's going on at the minute, but they've got the officials there having a good chat. The trucks, you can probably hear them in the background. They're beeping away. They're leaving for the afternoon. It has been a wonderful spectacle, of course, until that final race. But as I said before, I am delighted to say that the driver is okay. Did get taken to medical centre, but nobody's been hurt at all. So that is why we are about to go racing again. It looks like the track has managed to get itself sorted as well. So yes, Wayne Rocket picking up the win yesterday. Mark Ridout was second. Johnny Rocket was third. John Winter was fourth. We saw Luke in it. We spoke to him at length yesterday. Actually finished second on track. Was handed a 10-second penalty and it was upheld as well. So he unfortunately did drop down the order to finish in 5th place. So let's go over and see if we can have a quick word with some of the drivers, because as soon as we get the whistle, they're going to pretty much head straight out on track. No hanging around. Like I say, 3 races in total still to bring you, and we're just about to go through the driver briefing here. So I actually wonder if it might be worth, if Dave takes you through the grid order, maybe then come back and we'll chat to some of the drivers just whilst they go through their driver briefing one final time. So Dave, back to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Ian, and good afternoon, race fans. Welcome back to Thruxton Circuit here at Convoy on the Plain. Thank you for your patience, those of you who have stuck with us during the enforced delay following an accident in truck race 4 involving truck number 33 of Neil Yates. As we've just heard from Ian there will be no further truck racing today due to the damage to the barriers, and the pickup trucks will not be resuming either. First of all, we'd like to say well done and thank you to the circuit team here at Thruxton and all the volunteer marshals for repairing the barriers as quickly and efficiently as possible following the incident here at Allard Corner. So everything is now back in place, but in the interests of safety there will be no further truck or pickup truck racing here today. We will have 3 car races for you though. We have the OT Publishing Hyundai Coupe Cup next in association with Toyo Tyres. We'll have the Morphmy Caterham Graduates Championship, the Sigma 150 and Sigmax categories, and also the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. The 4th truck race of the day, a provisional result was declared at the conclusion of 3 laps with John Bowler, who was in the lead at the time of the stoppage, taking his first Division 1 victory. And I believe it was John Powell in his DAF who took the Division 2 win. But there will be no further truck or pickup racing today in the interests of safety, but I'm pleased to report there were no injuries as a result of the accident involving number 33 Neil Yates. Everybody was okay, and we are almost ready to get back underway and racing. 3 races to come then, starting with the OT Publishing Coupe Cup. Yesterday their race was won by returnee Wayne Rocket here on his local circuit here at Thruxton, ahead of Mark Ridout and Johnny Rocket, son of Wayne. Couldn't quite see a family Rocket 1-2. While, as Ian was explaining there, Luca Staccini, the Italian, finished second, but he got a 10-second penalty for an out-of-position start, as did Neil Hurren and a couple of other drivers. No, Neil Hurren was for track limits, I apologise. Darren Banks and Paul Smith also got 10-second penalties. So Lucas Giacchini will have to start back on row 3. He was dropped to 5th with the results of yesterday's race determining the grid for this one. OT Publishing, the supporters of the Hyundai Coupe Cup this year, along with Toyo Tyres. Could also give you a little bit of extra news as well, because the OT Coupe Cup have come up with a scheme to keep their competitors racing in one of the most cost-conscious series in UK motorsport. It is aimed as a budget series, aimed at the newcomer to racing. And there will be a draw taking place after this race, and the competitor whose number is drawn out of the bag will receive free entry for the next round at Silverstone. Yeah, free motorsport. How good is that? There was also a draw that took place after qualifying, which would see a driver receive a refund of their entry fee for the Thruxton round. We haven't had info yet on who that was, though. Okay, the driver's briefing, we're told, has taken place now down in the assembly area. Ian, what can you tell us?
Here we go. Right, everybody, welcome back. The driving briefing has just finished. I'm here with Wayne Rocket, of course. A good day for you yesterday. Very good, very good. In fact, I understand it was the first time that you and Johnny had ever locked out the front row.
Yeah, that's pretty special. Shame he wasn't in a Rocket's car. He was in a car given to him by a competitor, but it was very generous. But yeah, cool being on the front row with my boy. Yeah.
Fantastic. Look, I'm not going to keep you long because I know you guys will need to get in the cars and get out there, but there has been a slight development to this race as well. And am I right in saying there's for the entire race between posts 2 and 4, where the incident happened, it's going to be yellow flags for the entire race?
Yeah, so no overtaking between 2 and 4, which is around Allardale, I believe. So line of stern around there, and then back to overtaking opportunities at the complex. So
it's going to be quite tough. It's going to be quite tough on lap 1, isn't it? Just to focus on
we're starting in one big line. So line of stern, lap 1, the race will start at the complex.
Fantastic.
Right, cheers.
Wayne, thanks for clearing it up. Best of luck out there as well. Right, cars, drivers getting in, cars firing up. So there you go, between posts 2 and 4 for the entire race. It's going to be no overtakes, it's going to be yellow flags. Dave, over to you.
Thanks for the update there, Ian. Yes, a sensible decision, I'm sure. So basically the area of track you can see on your screen now, through Allard Corner at the exit of the pit lane up towards Green and then onto the complex, that's going to be under yellow flags for the entire duration of racing, with the incident that took place there which damaged the barriers. So in the interest of safety, no overtaking through that first part of the lap. There should be 21 cars on the grid for our second race for the Hyundai Coupe Cup, identical 2-litre Hyundai Coupes. The only real modifications we see to them is the safety modifications, things like the roll cages, the safety harnesses, bucket seats and so on. And they're as close to road cars as possible otherwise. Aimed at the newcomer to saloon car racing, so if you've got a circuit licence, you want to go racing, this could be the series for you. You can even hire a car and go racing if you've got a race licence and some racewear. Some teams do offer arrive and drive packages. Some of the teams that run cars in this series, including Kersley Motorsports. Now the Michael Banks Cars team as well. It's an ex-Banks car, I believe, that Johnny Rocket is driving this weekend as well. So we're just waiting confirmation of when the clerk of the course is ready, and we'll release the cars onto the circuit for the second race in this series. It is a series, not a championship. There's no points awarded in the Hyundai Coupes. The series founded over 10 years ago now by John Winter, who is racing this weekend. John has had a considerable background in motorsport. He's edited motorsport magazines. He's been a remote control car racer very successfully. Raced Toyota MR2s before founding the Coupe Cup a few years back. Very passionate for his motorsport is John. He is competing here this weekend. And at the BARC Awards last year, he received the Jerry Marshall Trophy. A prestigious award indeed, named after one of Britain's greatest saloon car racers ever for his services to motorsports, evoking the spirit of Jerry Marshall, the great racer. And I can certainly see comparisons in John. He's a great character, just as Jerry Marshall was, very much believing the ethos that motorsport should be fun. Although John came close to a win yesterday, he attacked Wayne Rocket into the last chicane, only to overdo it and spun. So he'll be aiming to put that right. He finished 4th behind Wayne Rocket, Mark Ridout and Johnny Rocket. Can the Rockets get a family 1-2 today? Will we see John Winter on top? Will Luca Staccini come through from the 3rd row, the Italian? Typically passionate Italian racing driver is Luca, he's great fun. But he has a habit of making poor starts. So we're awaiting the cars to be released from the assembly area then. The grid, as we say, will be in the order that they finished yesterday's race. Just been told that all races today will be started behind the safety car, the 3 remaining races. A bit of breaking news there. All races will be started behind the safety car. So the starting order will be Wayne Rocket, number 17, the Rockets of Denmead car on pole. Also sponsored by Rockets Wraps and Graphics. Based locally to Thruxton, based in Waterlooville, the Rocket family. And alongside him on the grid will be number 2, Mark Ridout. Also a Hampshireman from Ringwood. 2nd row, number 19, Johnny Rocket, and number 3, John Winter, the man from Milton Keynes, where he has his vehicle graphics business, Exit 13 as it's known, so called because it's just by junction 13 of the M1. Row 3, number 28, Luca Staccini, and number 75, Dan Fletcher. On the 4th row, number 5, Michael Evans in the Cadbury's Caramel car, the yellow and purple, and number 87, Neil Hurren.
What's the tea?
Row 5, number 9, Eddie O'Kane in the YourIrishShop.com car, the food businessman based in Harrow, Middlesex, and number 27, which is Darren Banks, that's the bright red late generation coupe. Row 6 will be number 111, which is Taylor Norton, the karting graduate, and number 18, Ian Brunning. Row 7, 51, Paul Lorry, and 8, Paul Smith. Row 8 is number 112, Kevin Smiles, was a race winner several years ago in the Coupe Cup, making a return this weekend. And number 46, which is Mark Worsley. Row 9, number 12, Matthew Watson. He recovered from the spin at the chicane in yesterday's race. And the 16 of Callum Roby. Then row 10, 48, which is Nick Flowers, 65, Spencer Hirons. And at the back will be Roger Owens, number 26, who started well up on the grid. He was about 6th after qualifying, but dropped to the back of the field. I can see the safety car in pit lane down there with the lights flashing, so it's ready to take the cars out from the assembly area very shortly. The 2nd race of the weekend for the OT Publishing Coupe Cup. Here they come. Wayne Rockets, Mark Ridout in the orange car. There's Johnny Rockets. There's John Winter in the number 3. Next out is Luca in the 28. Watch for him from row 3. Dan Fletcher in the white and red 75 car. Then we've got Michael Evans in the number 5. There's Eddie O'Kane. Looks like we might be missing Neil Hurren, number 87. I can't see him down there. Should have been in front of Eddie O'Kane, so I think number 87 is missing. Behind O'Kane is Darren Banks, number 27. He's in the red car. Taylor Norton in the bright yellow. There's Ian Brunning, the blue car with the white stripes. Paul Lorry with the purple front to his car, number 51, he's there. Paul Smith, number 8, white and black with the red and blue stripe down the centre. Then Kevin Smiles. The rest of them come through. Roger Owens at the back in his new shape coupe, open to all generations of Hyundai Coupe, the series, all 4 shapes. We get ready for a 15-minute race, starting behind the safety car. Will Wayne Rocket take a double? He keeps telling us he's giving up motor racing, but he can never resist a comeback. If he wins again here, I bet this won't be the last time we see him this year either. There's Kevin Smiles, the 112, the silver and red car. Mark Worsley in green. Matthew Watson in pink. Certainly a riot of colour, aren't they, out there? Hugely enjoyable to race. Very closely matched cars. A team of Hyundai Coupes picked from this series even won the Burkett 6-hour relay race at Silverstone a few years ago. A handicap event that 750 Motor Club organise at the end of every season, where you need a degree in mathematics to work out who's doing well in that with the handicapping use. Nick Flowers there towards the back. Blue car is Spencer Hirons, there's Roger Owens. So I think it is just the one car we're missing. I can't see Neil Hurren, his plain white number 87 car out there. Looks like the safety car about to unleash them. Johnny Rocket at the front of the grid. Blue and white halves with pink wheels. Hasn't he got good taste? The orange car of Mark Ridout behind him. Here we go then. Pack about to be unleashed, and off they go. Remember, no overtaking through the first couple of corners here. There's the yellow flag. You can't overtake under yellow flags or you'll be disqualified. As they come out towards the left-hander at greens, now the race is on. Here we go with the OT Publishing Coupe Cup. Into the complex, Wayne Rockets has the lead from Mark Ridout. Johnny Rockets in third position. Surely the best name for a racing driver I've heard in a long time. The ex-downhill mountain bike racer. John Winter in fourth place, the prime mover behind the success of this series. You can see the green flag showing around the circuits to tell the drivers racing is well and truly underway. Paul Smith having a go at Paul Lorry a little bit further back. There's Ian Brunning, the Nottinghamshire driver in the number 18, chasing Taylor Norton. Began his career at Buckmore Park Kart Circuit in Kent. Johnny Rockets going for second in the Banks family-owned car. He's up the inside coming through Goodwood, takes Mark Ridout, and it's Rockets 1 and 2. Now will they rocket away at the front of the field? Fourth place is John Winter. He's going to try and go for third, coming up towards Church. Luca Staccini, again not the best of starts. He's there in fifth position. Luca Staccini Anzanello to give his full name. First four broken away slightly, and a bit of rally crossing there. Dan Fletcher and Michael Evans run wide. They are very, very fast indeed through that. It was a scary moment. So Johnny Rocket has second place. Here comes John Winter up the outside. Be careful, John. You know what you did at the chicane on the last lap yesterday. He wants second place. Attacks Johnny Rocket. Excuse me, he says. No, says Johnny Rocket. I'm holding second place. I don't care if you are the boss of the series. You're not getting past me. Remember the yellow flags at the first part of the lap? Yep, they drop in line astern. They remember. That's allowed Wayne Rocket to get away. You can see there at the head of the field. Coming out of the yellow flag zone, Johnny Rocket's under intense pressure, almost being pushed, bump drafted by Mark Ridout in the number 2 car. Has had an impressive season so far, now trying to get the shuffle at the complex. He goes to the left on the entry into Campbell, but he can't get alongside Johnny Rocket on the exit. Luca Staccini's under fire from Dan Fletcher. He's running well in the automobile number 75 car. Then Michael Evans in the number 5. That car looked a little bit smoky yesterday. Staccini's car covered in the signatures of various marshals from around the UK. As a thank you to them allowing them to autograph his car. I believe Ian, our pit reporter, autographed that car as well earlier this season at Snetterton when Luca took 2 wins. Eddie O'Kane is next in the order in the number 9. Now Michael Evans and John Winter both running in Class X on the entry list. X for experimental. They're trying out new parts that could be adapted and brought into the series regulations. What new parts? They won't tell me. They're keeping it a secret. Certainly working for John Winter, as Paul Smith nearly goes off there coming into Woodham Hill. Up towards the chicane. Here comes Winter again on the outside. Side by side, a lock-up from Mark Ridout in the number 2 in 4th place. Johnny Rocket again holding second. Staccini's closed up now. And Eddie O'Kane, Taylor Norton, there's the 27 of Darren Banks over the line. Remember the yellow flags. Staccini's got through there ahead of Dan Fletcher. He's nearly on Mark Ridout, but he had to lift off for the yellows. Up towards the complex. Ian Brunning under fire from Paul Lorry. Again, John Winter locks up. Perhaps not new brakes he's trying out on that car. Eddie O'Kane under fire from Taylor Norton. Lives in London. Said earlier, began his career at Buckmore Park, the UK's top kart circuit. Many great names have competed there. Some commentators as well. Not very successfully in my case, I might add. Darren Banks putting Taylor Norton under pressure. Paul Smith closing up as well. He got that penalty for an out of position start in yesterday's race, which dropped him back. Here he comes on the back of the 27 car of Banks. It's almost 3 wide. Taylor Norton holds them off. Good race here for the minor placings. This is for 9th, 10th and 11th place, trying to catch Eddie O'Kane for 8th. Still your leader is Wayne Rockets. Is there a change for 2nd? They're up the inside. Johnny Rockets under fire, and he loses out to John Winter into the chicane, and Luca Staccini's up to 4th, ahead of Mark Ridout in the orange car, side by side for 6th. And where's Paul Smith going? Across the chicane, that's where the barrier's very close there. Just about gathers it up. I thought he was going to spin. Ian Brunning next, he's under fire from Paul Lorry. Mind the yellow flags. Lorry's just about got through before the yellow flag zone. There you can see the start of it with the light flashing. Just under 10 minutes of this race to go, so we're 1/3 of the way through. Again, a lock-up from John Winter. He's pushing hard to try and catch Wayne Rockets. Rocket the younger in 3rd, and bouncing over the curb there, Luca Staccini. Staying ahead of Mark Ridout, then a gap back to Dan Fletcher. He's got Michael Evans behind him in the number 5 in 7th place. A good battle here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Here comes Staccini on the inside. He's going for 3rd. Johnny Rocket trying to move to cover as they go round Goodwood Corner. Heading out towards Village and Church. Speed really mounting here. Fastest lap of the race is with John Winter, 136.357. 88.35 miles an hour average around the Thruxton circuits. But even these relatively standard budget racer cars can achieve superb speeds. To the chicane. Luca Staccini now into his stride in the 28's car. Closing on John Winter. This squabbling is allowing Wayne Rocket to get away, though, the local hero. And a spin there. Darren Banks has tangled with Paul Smith. Off goes Banks. He's going to hit the barriers. Wallop straight in he goes. Oh dear. The 27, the MichaelBanksCars.com Coupe could be out of the race. Not been a happy weekend for Darren. Another local man from Andover, just up the road. Michael Evans and Dan Fletcher together through the first couple of corners. Well, Darren Banks has got it going again, but with the front bodywork missing, I imagine, yes, he's going to head straight into the pits. 4 cars line astern for 2nd place. Mark Ridout in the KJS body shop car on the fight back. I think Darren Banks is going to be the man needing a body shop to fix his car. They disappear out into the country. It's Fletcher, Evans, O'Kane, Norton and Paul Smith now rounding out the top 10. It's Toyo tyres squealing on their absolute limits as Luca Staccini looking to attack now for 2nd place. He knows no fear, the Italian, nor does John Winter, and they're side by side into Church, the fastest part of the course. John Winter holds on in 2nd place. Johnny Rocket ready to fight back. Well, it sounds like the name of a superhero, doesn't it? He's going to need a superhero performance if he's going to move back ahead here up the inside. Staccini's trying to move to block him. Mark Ridout up the outside. Where's he come from? He's going to go into 3rd place if he can get his braking right here. No, he's not. Staccini holds him off, so does Winter. Oh, very, very close in there, and Johnny Rocket's been tagged. Over the grass he goes. Mark Ridout just didn't quite leave him room there. And Rocket is shuffled back into 5th place. Wayne Rocket's pulling away. His lead is nearly 3 seconds now as they head through the yellow flag zone. Johnny Rockets will be fired up and ready to fight back as they head towards the complex. Further back in the order, 6th is Michael Evans. He's got ahead of Dan Fletcher. A big lock-up again there from both Winter and Mark Ridout, who's sideways into the complex. That was more like rally style. Well, in the late 1990s, the Hyundai Coupe was briefly a rally car. Australian Wayne Bell was their lead driver. Of course, now Hyundai has its own leading World Rally Championship team. Taylor Norton out of shape there behind Eddie O'Kane, the O'Kane Irish Foods car. What if they do Irish food and drink? I'll have a pint of Guinness, please. No drinking and driving, of course. Eddie O'Kane chases Dan Fletcher. There's a battle at the back, but number 16 of Callum Roby all over the back of 65 Spencer Hirons. This is for 18th place. There's battles everywhere you look. All down the order. Now Out into the country they go. You can see a number of these cars with novice crosses on the back. The Generation 2 car with the double headlights, Spencer Hirons, chased by Callum Roby, and here's this battle for second. It's still Winter, Stacchini, Ridout and Rockets. Rocket Jr. And Michael Evans is next through. Black and white driving standards flag goes out to the number 19. That's Johnny Rockets, a warning for driving standards. Presumably that's for cutting the chicane. If he does that again, he'll be risking a time penalty. Another lock up, this time it's Stacchini locking his brakes and Ridout. Off the curb comes the Italian. Forces Mark Ridout to go wide, but Ridout gets through on the exit into Cobb, and he's up to third. Great fight between these four. And now Ridout's hit the curb, he goes wide. I thought Stacchini was going to give him a punt up the back there. He gets through again, and Mark Ridout has gained one place, and then he's immediately going to lose two because Johnny Rocket's coming up on the outside there at Noble. He'll have the inside for Goodwood. Yes, he's through. And poor old Mark Ridout, who was briefly third, is now down to fifth. That's allowed John Winter to escape by a car's length or so into second place. Something's hanging off underneath Johnny Rocket's car. It's probably from where he went across the curbs and the chicane earlier on. Bit of trim hanging down. Here comes Stacchini up the inside at Church Corner. That's brave. Still side by side. Can he make that stick? They're still side by side, and here comes Johnny Rockets, trying to get a run on both of them. Tries to move back across, but Ridout's there. They could be four wide. Into the chicane, that's never going to work. There's a bit of contact there between Rockets and Stacchini. Who the heck's going to come out in second place through this lot? It's going to be Stacchini, who's the last of the late breakers, and Rockets through into third. Superb. John Winter has lost 3 places. He was second going into Church Corner. He's going to cross the line fifth. Magnificent racing. Wayne Rocket leads with 3.5 minutes to go. He leads by 4.3 seconds now against this squabbling quartet behind him. Now Stacchini trying to break away and go after him. Here's a battle further back. Roger Owens, who started at the back of the grid, has got ahead of Matthew Watson in that bizarre pink, almost camouflage liveried cars. I don't know what you call that. With green wheels as well. Hasn't he got good taste? This is for 15th place. Roger Owens in the new shape car. Good qualifying effort, but dropped back in yesterday's race. Finished at the tail of the order. Next through is Nick Flowers, the red number 48's car. And still they fight for second. That's onto the back of the circuits. Two and a half minutes of this race to go in this second race of the weekend for the OT Publishing Hyundai Coupe Cup in association with Toyo Tyres. That's a brave move, and it didn't come off for John Winter. He nearly came off though, onto the grass. Well, here's Wayne Rocket, right back in his old form. You wouldn't know he'd been away, would you? I think another comeback will be in the offing soon. Here comes Johnny and Mark Ridout together over the curbs again. You can use the tarmac through there, you know, guys. There's a black and white flag for number 75 now. That's Dan Fletcher. He's dropped to 8th place. So they came over the line. There was about just under 2 minutes on the clock, so we're on the penultimate lap now. Michael Evans has got away from the pack behind him as well. Lock up for Mark Ridout and from Luca Stacchini. He slides wide. Will he defend second place? Only just. Over the curb goes Johnny Rockets again. No wonder he's got that black and white flag to warn him to stay on the black stuff. He's attacking Mark Ridout now. The two Generation 2 coupes, sandwiched by the two newer machines. Through Noble up towards Goodwood. This is great stuff. Here's a battle further back. This is the 46 of Mark Worsley. He's 13th. He's just taken former Coupe Cup race winner Kevin Smiles, making a comeback in the 112 car. Smiles tries to fight back through the right at Goodwood and on towards Village and Church. One more lap to go this time through. Wheel onto the dirt there for Mark Worsley in the green machine. Keeps his foot in, keeps it going, trying to chase down Ian Brunning. The number number 18 in 12th, and still this battle goes on. Mark Ridout round the outside into the chicane, and there's contacts. Luca Staccini behind the barriers. He has to cut through there, and he rejoins. Oh, and there's more contact. That's Johnny Rocket and Mark Ridout. They're going to take each other out of the race completely at this rate. And somebody is out of the race. Callum Roby is pulling over. That's at Seagrave, I think. So, still these four fight it out. Goodness knows what's going to happen into the complex this time. Wayne Rocket's going to win this. He's missed all the fun, clearing off in front. Winter locks up. Ridout sideways. Slides it through on the inside. He's driving like he's in a rally car. Now Staccini's going to relegate John Winter back again, and somebody else out. That's Dan Fletcher. 75 has pulled up. Michael Evans goes off. What is going on out there? They're all losing their heads on this last couple of laps, with the exception of Wayne Rocket. Well, the saying goes, if you can keep your head while all around you are losing theirs, you'll win a Coupe Cup race, I suppose. So now second it is Johnny Rocket, who's emerged from that melee in front. Is it going to be a family 1-2? Not if Mark Ridout and Luca Staccini have got anything to do with it. Let's see what's going to happen into the chicane for the final time. Will they get through it? They've been falling over each other through the chicane the last few laps. It's going to be a win for Wayne Rocket in the number 17. The checkered flag this time. Here he comes. The comeback man on his local circuit here at Thruxton is going to make it 2 out of 2. Here comes the second place fights. There's a yellow flag at the chicane. That was where Dan Fletcher's pulled off, so we won't see any moves made. It's going to be a Rocket family 1-2. Here they come. They're going to try and cross the line together. The Rocket men 1 and 2. Oh, and he lost that second place there, Johnny Rocket. He tried to do a formation finish with his father. Did Staccini get him? No, he didn't. It is a 1-2. The Rocket men have done the double. I think Wayne was slowing there to try and get a formation finish with his son. But then Johnny slowed as well, and he very nearly lost second place. Staccini almost got him. So Staccini is third, ahead of Ridout and Winter. Roger Owens is going to beat Matthew Watson home in their dice further back in the order for 14th place. And the last two finishers will come home, but there's going to be some emotional scenes in Parc Fermé, I think, after that one. And yes, Wayne pointing, he's trying to point Johnny forward so they can do the lap of honour side by side. Come on, Johnny. There he is. How about that? Father and son, 1 and 2. That's never been done in the Coupe Cup before. And they do their lap of honour together. Big round of applause from the crowd. That was a cracking race for second place, but out in front, Wayne Rocket led all the way. It was Staccini third, then Ridout, Winter. Michael Evans was sixth. He almost caught that group at the end of the race because they slowed each other up so much. Taylor Norton was next home. That's his best finish so far. I think it's 7th. It's a shame there was that yellow flag at the chicane. I think that's where Dan Fletcher had pulled up. So there wasn't a scrabble for positions there through the final chicane. So it's Rockets 1 and 2 then, just ahead of Luca Staccini. Well done to Wayne and Johnny. Mark Ridout in 4th, then John Winter wins Class X in 5th position ahead of Michael Evans, then Taylor Norton, Eddie O'Kane, Paul Smith, and Paul Lorry completes the top 10 ahead of Ian Brunning, Kevin Smiles, Mark Worsley. Roger Owens beats Matt Watson in their dice, then Nick Flowers and Spencer Hirons were the final finishers because we lost Dan Fletcher and Callum Roby late on, and Darren Banks, after going into the tyre wall, pulled into the pits. Staccini got the fastest lap, but the Rockets will have Smiles as wide as the Thruxton Circuit, I think, right now. 2 races to go here at Thruxton today for the Morphmy Caterham Graduates Sigma 150 and Sig Max Championships. And then we close out with the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Let's head down to Parc Fermé to celebrate with the Rocket men.
Oh, hello everybody, welcome to Parc Ferme. Yes, it's Wayne Rocket again taking win. What a perfect weekend it's been for him. And his son Johnny Rocket coming second. It's a Rocket 1-2. Quite remarkable, isn't it? Let's go have a chat with Wayne.
Bloody gears coming up the straight.
Look at
Hey, Luke, he did pass me before. On the finish line, I was slowing down. Just out there, I couldn't even finish it.
Wayne, congratulations, mate. How nice is this to be 1-2 with your boy?
Yeah, it's all right. Apart from the yellow flag there confused me. I come out on the straight to the finish flag and I forgot to change gear.
I thought actually going on to Steiner last time, you had about a 5-second lead. I was like wondering over the line, it was like 0.5.
Backed it off at the back because it was the yellow flags.
Yeah.
And then so come out of there and my head was just forgot to change gear and slowed down.
Perfect weekend though for you, mate. Well
Brilliant,
done.
thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
There you go. Let's grab Johnny as well, because another entertaining race. Johnny ends it perfect second. You've got to get him next time though, eh?
Oh, hopefully. Well, that was bloody good race, wasn't it?
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
How did the yellows at post 2 and 4 affect it, or did you just not really notice it?
No, it did give me a bit of comfort, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because you know no one's going to try it there. But get a good run out on the straight and then you're good for the chicane.
But we're going to see more of you, yeah?
Hopefully. I'll tell you about that.
Well done, mate. Congratulations. Good stuff. It's a Rocket 1-2. I do want to grab a word with Luca as well. Finishing third place, gets the podium. He almost had it yesterday, finished second, didn't he? But unfortunately, that 10-second time penalty dropped him down to 5th. Today, though, he is on the podium. He also got fastest lap as well. So congratulations to him. Let's grab a word. He's got to be all smiles. He's got to be happy, hasn't he? We know he's got the pace. If he could just start a little bit further up the grid, who knows what Luca can do. Let's just have a quick look actually, just pop the bonnet up here. We're going through a little bit of scrutineering on Johnny Rocket's car, make sure everything's okay. There's a bit of damage actually on the left hand side, but it's rubbing his racing, as they say, isn't it? So we will have a chat with Luca very shortly. I can tell you the Caterhams are waiting in the wings to go out as well. We've still got 2 more races to bring you this afternoon as well. The Caterhams, we've got the 150s and the Sigmax, they're about to head out, and of course a little bit later rounding out the day now is the MG Owners Club. If you are just tuning in, just a quick reminder, there's not going to be another pickup truck race, and there's not going to be another British truck racing race either. So it is just the Caterhams and the MG Owners to go. Luca, you've got some serious pace, mate. You finally get that podium you so deserve. Fastest lap as well, mate.
I'm very disappointed about this weekend. I think that some of the calls that Race Direction has made last minute and some of the major calls that have been made throughout the weekend are particular, to say the best. I don't understand why resume a race where obviously they're not sure that the barriers are safe enough for us to overtake, because most of the circuit where the places there you can overtake were actually yellow flagged. So I'm happy to be on the podium and that I managed to give a show to my fans and everyone. Just very disappointed with how this weekend went and the organisation of it, but I hope you guys had fun.
Look, whenever I see you, I always have a good time, mate. At least you get a little pot to go home with as well. Well done, congratulations. Yeah, there we go. Right, time for the next race. Literally, they're going to get things going quickly, so it's time for the Caterhams. Dave, over to you.
Well done to the Coupe Cup racers there, and that was a brilliant end to their weekend. 2 races to go. Next up it is the Morphmy Caterham Graduates Racing Club Sigma 150 and Sigmax divisions. Sigmax about 140 brake horsepower. The Sigma 150s based on the 310R, the 150 brake horsepower Caterhams, the slightly quicker, but they run on a mixed grid. It was Amanda Anderson who took the win yesterday, her first win in the Caterham Graduates Racing Club for some time. She only led into the last corner all race long. While in the Sigmax, Kevin Barrett took the win on the road, but he got a penalty for exceeding track limits at the chicane to gain the lead. So it was Ian Anderson who achieved a family double as he inherited the win. Let's hear from some of the drivers in the lead up to this race.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Assembly. I've got to say, it's absolutely glorious now. That sun is really hammering down now. Almost time though for the Sigma 150 and Sigmax for the Caterham Graduates. What a race we had yesterday, by the way. Don't forget Amanda Anderson coming through to take the win. She absolutely flew through on that last lap. Let's go have a chat with some of the drivers, shall we? Let's go have a quick chat with Harry here. Harry, bone dry today. Are we happy about that?
Very much so. Yeah, we struggled a little bit in the wet, hence I'm back here in 16th for qualifying, but we'll try and work our way forward a bit.
That's what I like to hear. Now, of course, there's a slight change to this race due to the incident we had a little bit earlier. How's that going to affect things with no overtaking between posts 2 and 4?
Well, not very well for me. It just reduces the opportunity I've got to try and get ahead of people, so it's not ideal, but we'll see what we can do. The race is also a bit shorter, it's 5 minutes shorter. So again, it's less opportunity, but we'll do our best.
The important thing though, safety first though, Harry, that's it.
Of course, yeah, and absolutely. And the most important thing is that everyone's all right. So, you know, racing comes second to that, doesn't it?
Well, very well said, but enjoy it anyway, Harry. It's going to be a cracker, isn't it? Let's go chat to Neil Evans here, because I was just talking about how much the sun is now beating down. Neil's got a nice little brolly on the go here as well. How nice is this?
Well, it's a lovely day, isn't it?
It is. You're looking forward to this one. There was a moment where we thought it might not happen, but it's been a bit of a wait, but you are going to get out.
Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, the weather's nice. Hopefully we'll have a clean race.
Fantastic, best of luck. Thanks for talking to us, Neil. Almost time to get underway. Yeah, just a quick reminder, this race is 5 minutes shorter than it should have been. They're still going to be full of action though, I can assure you that. Dave, it's going to take you through the action. Over to you.
Well, after the frantic action in yesterday's race, I'll do my best to take you through this one. I'm going to struggle to keep up with it, most likely. Let's have a look at the grid then. The Sigma 150 cars with the pink grid graphics and Sigmax in yellow. This grid set by the second fastest time by each driver in yesterday's qualifying session. So it's number 1, Harry Senior, the reigning Sigma 150 champion, is on pole, alongside 112 Andrew Whitten. Second row, yesterday's winner, Amanda Anderson, the leading lady of Caterham Racing, alongside number 50, James McCall. Row 3, James Gilmore in 110, and Rob Warner at 58. He got taken out yesterday's race in a tangle with Andrew Whitten at the chicane, so aiming to bounce back. 83, Jonathan Ems on row 4, alongside number 67 of Doug Christie. Then we've got the first of the Sigmax cars. Number 6, Stephen Arnell, had his first win in the category earlier this year at Brands Hatch, alongside number 4, Kevin Barrett. Row 6 is 32, Ian Anderson, yesterday's Sigmax winner, alongside 9 of Martin Gleitch. Row 7, 33, Gareth Cordy, alongside 15, Kim Raymonds. Row 8, 85, Dan Livingston, who led the points in Sigmax coming into this weekend, alongside 121, Harry Kramer, who led the points coming into this weekend in the Sigma 150. He's a long way down the grid. Row 9, 34, Neil Evans, and 101, Paul Fielder. Row 10, 137, Will Price, and number 7, Rob Appleton. At the back of the field, we already saw him out in his 135 earlier on, 169, Paul Vokes. Harry Kramer will be one to watch, starting 16th for the second time, the all-red car there. He spun on the first lap at the complex in race 1 yesterday, came back from last, and suddenly seemed to come on strong in the latter part of the race and finished 4th. Let's see if he can come through and challenge the leaders this time. It was a frantic lead battle between Harry Senior, Andrew Whitten, Rob Warner, Jonathan Ems, James Gilmore, James McCall and Amanda Anderson yesterday. Amanda only led on the run into the last corner. She got the inside run on Harry Senior and James McCall. It was a bit of a through goes Anderson moment. I resisted the temptation to do a David Croft impression on that last corner. There's Stephen Arnell leading the Sigmax division, leading sim racer as well in the CaterhamRacer.com online series. They have their next round coming up this Wednesday evening. If you like your online racing, if you want to have a watch, that'll be broadcast live on YouTube. There's Rob Appleton, the number 7. Harry Senior, the dark grey car with the red stripe, in pole position. Alongside him in red and black is Andrew Whitten. Had his race spoiled when he tangled with Rob Warner while fighting for the lead yesterday. It's been a 20-minute race. We're going to start behind the safety car. Again, the yellow flags will be out throughout the race on the first couple of corners. Amanda Anderson, the orange and black car on the second row. James McCall in the sort of turquoise colour there, 4th in the lineup. In orange and black with the slightly taller roll cage is James Gilmore. Rob Warner's in blue and orange. Jonathan Ems also in orange, and Doug Christie in black with a bit of gold trim. Those are your colours to look out for then as the pack about to be unleashed. The Morphmy Caterham Graduates Racing Club Championship Sigma 150 and Sigmax gets underway. And away goes pole sitter Harry Senior, the reigning champion in Sigma 150. The race really gets underway as they come out of this section. Now we're away and racing, and up towards the first real quarter of the race into the complex once they're out of that yellow flag zone. Who's going to have the lead? It will be Harry Senior ahead of Andrew Whitten. Rob Warner will be on the move towards the front, battling already with James Gilmore in the 110 car. They sort themselves out around this opening lap. Stephen Arnell leads the Sigmax division. Slightly less powerful cars. They're all powered by Ford Sigma engines. That's onto the back of the circuit they go for the first time. Watch for Harry Kramer. He's already on the charge on the back of Dan Livingston in the 85. There's Arnell leading the Sigmax ahead of the number 4 of Kevin Barrett. He was left frustrated yesterday when he was penalised down to second in class. Andrew Whitton chased by Amanda Anderson. He's had a fair number of Caterham wins in her time. Done a bit of GT racing as well in a Ginetta. Battle is on for second. Here comes James McCall down the inside in the number 50 machine. Taking a look at the points chart for the Sigma 150s, Harry Kramer led the points coming into the weekend. A disappointing race for him yesterday until that late race charge. And speaking of charges, here he comes up on the outside of Martin Gleitch in the number 9. The 85 of Livingston in there as well. And in behind is the number 14 car, I think that was. 34, sorry, of Neil Evans. The Superior Freight Services car. So Harry Kramer leads the points in Sigma 150 coming into the weekend ahead of Harry Senior and Andrew Whitton. Amanda Anderson was 4th in the points and Doug Christie 5th. A non-finish at Spa has stymied some of his efforts. In Sigmax, meanwhile, Dan Livingston led club chairman Matt Willoughby, who's not racing this weekend, in the points, with Ian Anderson 3rd. He picked up his 2nd win of the season, yes, to tears. Goodness me, Dan Livingston nearly takes Martin Gleitch off the circuit. Harry Kramer splits them in the 121 now. It's Harry Senior who leads by half a second ahead of Andrew Whitton. Fight further down the order, headed up by Livingston. This is for about 15th place at the moment. No, the leaders haven't yet concertinaed back together after the safety car start, but Harry Kramer is picking them off from that 16th place start. Here are the leaders: Harry Senior from Andrew Whitton, James McCall, Amanda Anderson is in 4th position. Into the chicane they come for the 2nd time. 5th behind them is Rob Warner. He wants to make up for that non-finish yesterday. He tangled with Andrew Whitton at this point on the circuit and suffered some suspension damage and a broken exhaust, which put him out of the race. Kevin Barrett has taken the lead in Sigmax from Stephen Arnell, who's maybe looking for a slipstream there, but note the yellow flags are still out there. They will be for the rest of the day, so he can't attack into Allard. They go towards the complex. DC ahead of them is Doug Christie, the number 67 car. Christie currently in 8th position overall. Just lost out to Jonathan Ems on that previous lap, the orange car ahead of them. So the Sigmax leaders 9th and 10th overall. Kevin Barrett from Orsett in Essex leads Stephen Arnell, comes from the northeast of England, in the almost patchwork liveried car. The sim racing car has the same livery. Former champion Max Haynes is the dominant force in the Caterham sim racing, along with Christian Sharuta, currently the championship leaders there. Kevin Barrett leads the Sigmax division. 3rd of them is Gareth Cordy. He's a little bit further back. That's the lime green car there in the background as Christie attacks, retakes Jonathan Ems for 7th place through Church Corner. That was a brave move. Here come your leaders. Still Harry Senior, number 1 at the front. Up the inside, James McCall takes Amanda Anderson. Now Rob Warner's going to have a go as well, the blue and orange number 58's car. Another sort out behind. Ems back ahead of Kevin Barrett, and Doug Christie's been shuffled back another place in there in the 67 through the yellow flag zone. It's Senior from Whitton, McCall, Anderson. And indeed, Harry Senior starting to check out at the front. He's 1.6 seconds clear, which is quite a big margin at this stage of a Caterham race. But again, he's got nobody to slipstream with, so they may well reel him back in here. Whitton, McCall, Anderson and Warner together for 2nd place. Harry Senior has had 4 wins so far this year, 2 at Snetterton, 1 at Brands Hatch, 1 at Spa. But he's 2nd in the championship because the 2nd race at Brands Hatch he failed to finish. Picked up some damage to his nose cone, which damaged the radiator, and he had to drop out. Andrew Whitton up there in 2nd place at the moment. He's yet to win this year. Best results he's had are a pair of 3rd places at Spa-Francorchamps. James McCall in behind him, the number 50. He missed the opening rounds at Brands Hatch. He goes round the outside there into 2nd place. Behind them, Anderson. Here comes Rob Warner in the number 58. Rob Warner missed the trip to Spa, so he's a little behind in the points. He's 7th. Non-finish yesterday not helping matters either. He's having a look there. Couldn't get alongside Andrew Whitten. Anderson down to 5th in the 64. Over the curbs they go. What's Harry Senior's lead going to be this time through? 4 laps completed. It's up to 2.7 seconds now. He pulled away by nearly another second there on that lap. Rob Warner on the outside. Amanda Anderson was thinking of a look up the inside there, but the yellow flags prevented it. Next in the order is James Gilmore. There he is. He's on his own. And then the next group fighting for 7th, headed by Jonathan Ems. Plenty of spectators still sunning themselves on the grass banking at the complex. There's the number 33, Gareth Cordy. He's got Harry Kramer on his tail, so Kramer's plateaued a little. He's 13th now. Harry Kramer in the 150, Cordy 4th rather of the Sigmaxes, because Ian Anderson is ahead of him there. Tries to make up the place through Noble. Yes, he's got it. So Harry Kramer resumes his climb up the order. The points leader coming into this round, the man from Northwich in Cheshire. Disastrous first race yesterday, but he somehow managed to turn it round for a 4th place. Past Gareth Cordy. Now chasing down Anderson. Just ahead of them, Steve Arnell and Kevin Barrett, and there could be a challenge on here. Yes, Amanda Anderson has not only got ahead of Rob Warner, she's ahead of Andrew Whitten as well. James Gilmore next in 6th position. Bouncing over the curb there, that was Jonathan Ems, so he's dropped back a couple of spots. Kevin Barrett, the Sigmax leader, ahead of him now. They're both behind Doug Christie as well back, and here comes Kramer. That's a lift off there. He was in danger of slipping ahead of Steve Arnell in the yellow flag zone, but he lifted off and let the yellow car go. Senior leads by 3 seconds. James McCall is starting to break away slightly into 2nd place now from the 3rd place fight. Steve Arnell side by side there with Jonathan Ems, the 87, who stays ahead. Here comes Kramer, flings the car down the inside on the run up to Noble. So Kramer up to 11th place now, and now 10th. Here comes Harry. Will it be 2 Harrys fighting at the front of the field? Can he catch Harry Senior, the leader? We've already seen Giles Derry come from the back of the grid twice in the 135s to take a pair of 4th places this weekend. Harry Kramer still fighting it out with the number 6 of Steve Arnell. Chasing now Kevin Barrett, who leads the Sigmax division. In the Sigma 150s, it's Harry Senior from James McCall. This is the fight for 3rd. Andrew Whitten back ahead of Amanda Anderson. Rob Warner chasing behind. 6th, we've got James Gilmore. Doug Christie is 7th, and goodness me, Harry Kramer, I thought was going to go blitzing straight on towards Andover there at the chicane. Drops back in behind Kevin Barrett. That was a bit of a dicey moment. Head of this group was once again Jonathan Ems. It's under 11 minutes of this race to go. What a cracker it has been already. We're not even halfway through this 20-minute race yet. Kramer will try again at the complex. Kevin Barrett a bit wide onto the tarmac runoff there. Kramer sideways on the outside. He can't quite get ahead. He's up to 10th overall. How far behind the leaders is Harry Kramer? About 15 seconds. He's got to make up to try and fight for a win here. Still your leader is Harry Senior by 3.2 seconds ahead of James McCall. This is the fight for 3rd. Anderson back through. Here comes Rob Warner. He's got ahead of Andrew Whitten. Up the inside into Church. That's brave by Rob Warner. Doesn't quite pull it off. Amanda Anderson still there in 3rd place. They fan out across the straight up Woodham Hill. Is it going to be Anderson? This is where she took the win in yesterday's race on the last lap. Defends that 3rd place. Rob Warner trying to get around the outside. This is where he and Whitten collided in yesterday's race. He's got ahead there of Warner into 4th. There's our leader. We haven't forgotten about Harry Senior, the reigning Sigma 150 champion. Pulls away from James McCall to the tune of 3.68 seconds now. Anderson a further 3 seconds back in third, so the leaders fairly strung out. Can they catch them up? The lap times not suggesting it at the moment. Gilmore sixth, then Christie, Kramer, Ems and Barrett next in the order. Here they are, Steve Arnell behind them. And we've got Gareth Cordy, he's closing in the 33. Behind him is Ian Anderson. He's only fourth in Sigmax to date, looking for his second win of the weekend. Here comes Harry Kramer. Next target is Doug Christie, he goes through. That's 7th place. Next to catch will be James Gilmore. Kramer's got the fastest lap of the race, no surprise there, 127.463. So he's got through this little group now. Here's a battle further back, Rob Appleton and Paul Vokes, these two at the tail of the field, fighting for 20th place. Appleton in the Golf lookalike car. Paul Vokes, we saw him out earlier on in the 135s. Up the inside, Harry Kramer takes Doug Christie now. A bit of place swapping there between the two of them on the run out of Church Corner, but 7th is sealed this time, I think, for Harry Kramer. Here's the fight for third, headed by Anderson, ahead of Warner and Whitton. Into the complex once again, 7.5 minutes and a bit of change to go. On the 9th lap of the race now for the Morphmy Caterham Graduates Sigma 150s and Sigmax. Here's Martin Gleach, a little further back in the order, putting Kim Raymond's familiar bright green car under pressure. This is for 16th place. Just ahead of them is Neil Evans. They're being chased down as well by Paul Fielder in the number 101. There's scraps everywhere you look in this field, just like every other Caterham race. Behind Paul Fielder is 137, which is Will Price. Fielder to the inside, attacking Martin Gleach. He had a spin in yesterday's race at the complex. Still your leader is Harry Senior. 9 laps completed. He's over 5 seconds ahead of James McCall now. That's Kramer got himself up into touch with James Gilmore yet, so almost. You can see them there. There's only a half a second between the two of them now. I don't think Harry Kramer's going to quite catch the leaders. Paul Fielder side by side with Will Price. Does Will get the move done before the yellow flag zone? Yes, he does. Still Senior, McCall, Anderson, Warner and Whitney are top 5. That section of the race seems to have settled down. This section certainly hasn't. The second group behind in the midfield. Steve Arnell moving up to challenge Kevin Barrett now. This is for the lead in the Sigmax category. The number 4 and the 6. Steve Arnell had a quick look there coming towards Goodwood. There's 32 Ian Anderson, he's third in the class. He's got ahead of Gareth Cordy in that lime green car behind. Harry Kramer has caught James Gilmore now. He's going through into 6th position. Side by side there between Doug Christie and Jonathan Ems. Then it's Kevin Barrett still leading Sigmax. Here comes Ian Anderson up the outside. He's getting a second wind almost. Rob Warner, meanwhile, has taken Amanda Anderson for 3rd place. He runs wide, over the curves, over the grass. Wait to see if he holds the place. There's an even busier battle behind. There's Kramer now up into 6th position. Is there going to be a change here? Around the outside comes Steve Arnell. He's going to take the lead in the Sigmax. No, Ian Anderson's got through. Anderson's got through. I didn't quite see him sneak through there on the run into the chicane. So Ian Anderson has taken the lead in Sigmax. And Barrett goes down to 3rd. He got a slower exit from the chicane there. Steve Arnell has got through. There's Jonathan Ems battling with Doug Christie. That's for 8th overall. And the Sigmax leader, Ian Anderson, there he is in 10th place, the number 32. Steve Arnell trying to move up to take the lead of the class for the first time since Brands Hatch. It's Barrett, Cordy, and further back Dan Livingston is 5th in Sigmax. They're the only 5 Sigmax class cars here this weekend, unfortunately. There is Ian Anderson, number 32. Is it going to be another family double? Let's see what Amanda can do this time. Can she catch Harry Senior? Harry's nearly 5.5 seconds clear, so it's looking unlikely. But anything can happen in motorsport, and here at Thruxton, especially in Caterham racing, it usually does. Amanda back up the inside there. Andrew Whitten's going to try and go round the outside. Rob Warner's caught in the middle. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? Anderson will keep it on. Whitten spins, just as he did at the chicane yesterday. This time he doesn't tag Rob Warner. Look out, Harry Kramer. Poor old Andrew Whitten, his weekend turning into a bit of a disaster. Going to try and get going again further down the order. So it's 2 for 3rd place now. Amanda Anderson and Rob Warner. Can they catch our leaders? Let's have a look again. 3 wide into the chicane. Watch Whitten on the outside. No contact. It was just a bit too sharp braking, I think, there for Andrew Whitten. Spun him around, and the man from Redhill in Surrey has dropped right back. Where did he come across the line? 13th place. He's somewhere just behind this group. Steve Arnell still ahead of Kevin Barrett, but it is still Ian Anderson who leads the Sigmax. Very on to the tail of Doug Christie now. He's had mixed results over his several years with the Caterham Graduates Racing Club. 2 minutes 40 seconds of this race to go. Rob Warner around the outside has retaken 3rd place. 6.5 seconds near enough now behind James McCall. So the top 2 look fairly set in stone unless they hit mechanical problems. Who's going to be 3rd? Warner or Anderson? Through the chicane. Leaders crossing the line with about 2.5 minutes to go. Look at this, 3-4 wide almost into the chicane. Could there be a change? Yes, there's been a complete change in the Sigmax. Stephen Arnell comes out with the lead for the first time. Anderson is shuffled back to 3rd. They were 3, almost 4 wide for the lead in the Sigmax class. Not bad considering there's only 5 of them in the race. I'm sure Dan Livingston would love to be up there joining in with this battle as well. Up to the complex, there's Harry Kramer. Now he's up to 5th now. He's got ahead of James Gilmore. Inherited 5th when Andrew Whitten spun. Can he catch the 2 ahead of him? He'll be hoping that Warner and Anderson lose time battling each other and he can close in on them. So he needs to try and keep up his challenge of Harry Senior for the championship. There's a battle further back. Vokes and Appleton. They've been battling at the tail of the field all race long. Paul Vokes has gone ahead in the 169 Cup. Just over a minute of the race to go now, so we'll be going into the last lap very shortly. Harry Senior goes into his final lap. Rob Warner up the inside into the chicane. There is Senior. The only question now is who's going to be 3rd and who's going to win the Sigmax category. Harry Senior is out on his own. Nearly 7 seconds clear of McCall in 2nd. And here comes the fight for 3rd. It's Rob Warner ahead of Amanda Anderson, but only just. They'll fight to the end of the race, as will this little lot. Who's leading the Sigmax this time? Looks like it's Barrett back in front again. It is. There's Jonathan Ems just ahead of them. Now where is Ian Anderson? He's dropped back a little. He's behind Gareth Cordy now, so whether he had an off at the chicane we didn't see, or whether he's just been slipstreamed over on the far side of the circuit. But there is Kevin Barrett ahead of Steve Arnell. If anything, that battle's broken up very slightly, so whether somebody's had a moment somewhere we've not seen because we were watching the leaders, you don't know where to look in a Caterham race. But it's going to be another win for Harry Senior. He's already won this season twice at Snetterton, once at Brands Hatch, once at Spa. This is going to be win number 5 of the season. Jonathan Ems going for the outside on Doug Christie's black car into Church Corner. Checkered flag will be being readied in our fourth and final Caterham race of the weekend. Kevin Barrett at the inside. Harry Senior, meanwhile, has taken the checkered flag. James McCall comes over in second. Who's going to be third? Rob Warner up on the curb. Anderson up on the curb. They're scrabbling with each other out of the final chicane. It's going to be Rob Warner. Both of them were nearly heading to the greenery there. Warner third, Anderson fourth. Harry Kramer from the 16th position on the grid to fifth. It's Gilmore sixth. And Kevin Barrett wins the Sigmax division. He beat Jonathan Ems home as well. Steve Arnell second in Sigmax, Ian Anderson third, Gareth Cordy fourth. These lot are still at it. Martin Glitch, Will Price and Paul Fielder. Will Price bounces over the curbs. That will have jarred his back. Keeps his foot in though. Finishes just behind Martin Glitch's Paul Fielder. Going to get alongside there. They have a photo finish. Who got that? Price got it by 0.16 of a second. Just waiting for our other pairing at the tail of the field now of Paul Vokes and Rob Appleton to come home. They had their own private fight all race long. It's Harry Kramer who got the fastest lap in fifth place. Harry Senior has taken the win though. Win number 5 of the season in the Caterham Graduates Sigma 150 Championship. Sigmax, that is Kevin Barrett's first win of the season. He missed the trip to Spa. He's had a couple of retirements as well. His best results 2 second places at Brands Hatch, so that's a welcome change of fortune for him. Provisional result then, a win for Harry Senior by 8 seconds in the end. That's a gigantic margin in Caterham terms. And Rob Warner further back behind James McCall in third by 9.4 seconds. Rob Warner beating Amanda Anderson home for third place. Harry Kramer from 16th on the grid through to 5th. James Gilmore 6th ahead of Doug Christie, and Kevin Barrett picks up his first Sigmax win of the season, 8th overall. Jonathan Ems and Steve Arnell complete the top 10, then Ian Anderson, Gareth Cordy, Andrew Whitton recovering to 13th after his spin, and Dan Livingston 14th, Neil Evans, Kim Raymond, Martin Glitch, Will Price in that photo finish with Paul Fielder, and Paul Vokes beat Rob Appleton in their battle at the back. Well, Harry Senior certainly in pole position now for the Sigma 150 title, with rival Harry Kramer suffering a slightly off weekend. His poor qualifying was his downfall really. While in Sigmax, things I would say are wide open, with Dan Livingston off the pace, the points leader, only able to pick up a couple of 5th places. Matt Willoughby absent and Ian Anderson making inroads. This is going to be a very interesting run into the season indeed. One race to go, the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship, over 20 minutes. Let's head down to Ian in Parc Fermé, the Caterhams.
Welcome down to Parc Fermé, everybody. Yes, it was a 3rd place yesterday for Harry Senior. Today it is 1st for him in slightly more comfortable circumstances, shall we say. That one, a solid margin of victory for you, Harry. That's a little bit more like it, isn't it?
Yeah, just what I wanted.
I mean, once you got out in front, it was just no catching you, and the margin was, dare we say, comfortable?
Yeah, I just kind of every lap looking in my mirror on the back straight, seeing him get a little bit smaller and smaller is about as satisfying as racing can get.
Well, I thought it's been a pretty good weekend, isn't it? 3rd yesterday, win today. Are you happy?
Yeah. Struggling with the car all weekend, but it seems to be working now. So,
what did you do overnight? Sprinkle some magic dust on it or something?
Boys were looking at it, sorted out some electrical issues possibly. I'm not sure. They just seemed very confident this morning that it was all going to work fine, and it did. And it did.
Top man, Harry. Great to see you again, mate. Congratulations. Let's grab Rob Warner over here as well. DNF yesterday. Not a great day yesterday, but today much better.
Yeah, much better. Excellent day today for me to get the car sorted out overnight and actually come out and have a decent result here. So I'm doing much better this year than I thought I would, and I like this place. It's a little bit brave and a little bit stupid in places, but always enjoyable to race. Guys we race with are stunning. Brad's club is great, so it's just lovely to be here. Family are down, a few friends are down. Nice. Sun's out.
And then you're going to go home with a nice little pot as well.
Yeah, so I'm doing all right for them this year. So I'm delirious with that. So it's good.
Well done.
Good. Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much.
Well done, mate. Congratulations. Good stuff. Must congratulate Barrett as well for picking up the Sigmax win as well. I wonder if I could find him anywhere. They kind of moved everybody around a little bit. Don't forget Amanda Anderson. She took the race win yesterday. Let's have a chat with her because she was running in podium spaces at one number of times. Amanda, sorry, just to grab you again, right at the sharp end, Dyson with people there, but not on a podium this time.
Not quite. I nearly thought I had it into the chicane and he stuck round. I'm sure it was clean, but it was a bit too hairy for me, so it was just like, I'm not going to lose it on the final corner.
Very sensible.
I want my car to go home in one piece, thank you very much, especially after waiting so long this afternoon. So.
That's it. Amanda, a great weekend though. Thanks for talking to us, really do appreciate it. Right, we're going to have to cut things off because as you can hear, the MG Owners Club, the cars are revving up, they're about to head out on track. Dave, over to you.
Thanks very much, Ian. Just before we get on to the MGs, just a quick update on the Mini Challenge Clubsport race we saw earlier on. Zach Blackwell we saw take the win. He got a time penalty for overtaking or overlapping before the start-finish line on the safety car restart and therefore has been dropped to 3rd place. So Freddie Hewitt has inherited his first overall win there. Congratulations to him. Bad luck to Zach Blackwell. Back to the MGs. Let's have a look at their grid for the final race of the day. This is the second fastest time in qualifying for each driver to set the grid. So it's once again Scott Bugner, number 25, our earlier winner on pole, and Jonathan Candler, the invitation runner, alongside him. Second row, 87, Andrew Priest, and number 1, Steve McDermott. And Melinda Golhar, number 29, and Phil Walker in 83. A better qualifying effort from him this time up there in 3rd. It was a rather jumbled qualifying session, some slightly damp conditions. 4th row, 121 Lewis Saunders, the MGB, well up there, alongside 42 Simon Kendrick in the first of the MGFs. Row 5, 76 Darren Leonard ZS and 22 James Wade ZR. Anthony Bate in the Maestro is next on row 6, the number 70, alongside 53 of Mark Baker in the MGF. Row 7, 66 Will Sharp's Midget and 82 Jimmy Work in the ZR. Row 8, number 60 Andy Heitman, he was excluded from the results of race 1 for overtaking under a yellow flag. And number 14 David Amflett's MGB Roadster. 27 Ray Ferguson, the invitation class ZR, alongside the 50 of Gary Puxty, who failed to finish in race 1. Then we've got Malcolm Hill, number 7, and 11 Chris Millard in their MGBs. Just checking if Gary Puxty's there. Yes, he is. Behind row 10, we've got number 34 Tim Rides and 97 Ray Lovell with their MGBs. Yes, they're both there. And then 172 Rob Fisher and 59 Ashley Barnes with Mark Rihorski, 86 at the back. Ashley Barnes, I didn't see his MG midget go through on the green flag lap, so I don't think he's there. He broke down sadly in race 1. So getting ready for our final race of the day. We saw an interesting battle between the 3 ZRs earlier on of Scott Bugner, Jonathan Candler and Steve McDermott. It has to be said it got a bit physical at times. Lewis Saunders, the new sensation of the classic category, not the Class A for Abingdon. Class F was won earlier by Mark Baker, but he's a bit further back on the grid this time. Will we see Andy Priest improve on his 3rd place, a newcomer this year? There's the 87 car. Melinda Golhar well up in his ZR as well. Phil Walker, a much better grid position. This is going to be an interesting one. The final race of the weekend, the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship gets underway. They head through the yellow flag zone. Scott Butler in the yellow ZR leads them round. For the green flag as they come up towards the complex, and the race will get properly underway. Already Melinda Golhar is on the attack, as is Lewis Saunders in the Jim Bainham-owned MGB Roadster. Up the inside, Golhar's going straight through. Is that no, that's McDermott, sorry, going through into 3rd place. Similar coloured cars from the distance, those two. Melinda Golhar is going to attack though on the back of Andy Priest. Phil Walker in the 83 is next through. Then it's Simon Kendrick leading the MGF class in his Tiger liveried car. Scott Buckner leads. Here comes the 29 up the inside of Melinda Golhar, takes Andy Priest up into 3rd position, to 4th position I should say. Here's a battle among some of the classic cars. Malcolm Hill, the number 7, the 11 of Chris Millard, and just ahead of them, number 50, that's Gary Puxty, failed to finish race 1. ZRs all the way at the front. Jonathan Candler in the Army Motorsports colours we saw on his driving suit earlier on, is on the attack on the back of Scott Bugner. Now, we heard earlier he's not a points runner this weekend, he's in the invitation class, but he wants to take the fight to his fellow ZRs and fight for a win. McDermott 3rd, Golhar is 4th, then Preece, Walker, Kendrick in the 42 is next. Through the yellow flag zone they go. Classic class is being led by Saunders, just ahead of Darren Leonard this time in the ZS Saloon. Lewis Saunders in 8th overall. James Wade, number 22, rounds out the top 10. There he is, the black ZR. Jonathan Candler on the tail of Scott Bugner. Just a race with Sean Bugner. The family used to share a couple of Fords. I believe they're brothers, those two. Could be wrong. Had a Ford Fiesta and a Focus at various times they shared in various open saloon events. Scott appeared this season with this MG ZR, very potent it's turned out to be, finally taking the fight to the almost unbeatable in previous couple of years, Steve McDermott. The only drivers who really have beaten McDermott over the last couple of years being Fergus Campbell, Will Sharp in his ZR, and never mind that, because up the inside Jonathan Candler, he's going through, takes the lead away from Scott Bugner at Church Corner. That was a brilliant move. Jack Woodcock was the other driver we saw taking wins in the last couple of seasons. He's moved on to pastures new now. Bugner fights back. Is he going to be late enough on the brakes here to go around the outside at the chicane? They're side by side and they run into it. There's an MGB in front of them, and Bugner's going to have to cut the chicane there. Well, look out, and they both go off at the chicane and wallop straight into the barrier. Oh dear. That's Jonathan Candler, certainly out of the race. Now hopefully he can get that car out of the way and the race will continue without a safety car. I think they were distracted there by Mark Rychorski's MGB in front of them, because Bugner went off first and then Candler went off the other way and into the barriers. It's not been his day, has it? Through the yellow flag zone, there's James Wade in the 22. Mark Baker in behind Darren Leonard in the ZS. And there, well, completing the variety, we've got the Maestro of the MGB, Anthony Bates, Lewis Saunders behind them. 5 different models, look at that. ZS, F, ZR, Maestro and B. And there's the midget in the background as well. We've got the full set. Here comes Mark Baker. All we need now is an MG ZT, the big saloon, and a Montego as well, and we'll have the complete set. Alan Forster, where are you? Mark Baker round Darren Leonard. Takes 8th place. Leonard's going backwards here. Mark Rychorski has pulled off in the MGB, the London-based Canadian. Not been a happy day for him. A couple of retirements. Now they're coming up on what's left of Jonathan Candler's car. Mark Baker at the head of the group, then it's Wade and Leonard. Anthony Bates, Maestro in behind. Let's have a look again what happened there. They were side by side into the chicane. Bugner on the outside, Candler on the inside. They were both late on the brakes. Bugner lost it first, and then Candler, I think he was too busy watching what Bugner was doing and then missed his own braking point, and wallop. Off goes Jonathan Candler. Mark Rychorski, I don't know whether he distracted them, but he didn't seem to be too near. Look at the state of his car now, but he's still going, albeit a lap behind. Or is he a lap behind? No, he's still on the lead lap. He's in 7th place. I thought he'd lost more time in that. There's a battle between 2 similar-looking cars. One's a midget, one's a B. That's the number 50 of Puxty, the 11 of Chris Millard in the MGB. Close to the Class A title. In recent years, it was David Amphlett who took the title last season. I wonder if Darren Leonard's got a problem in the ZS, because he lost 3 places on that last lap. There's David Amphlett, the black MGB, a bit further ahead, the 14. Still just under 14 minutes of this race to go. Scott Bugner leads Steve McDermott now by 2.28 seconds, with Golhar in third place, Meninda Golhar's ZR. This is the battle for 8th place. James Wade has now moved his ZR ahead of Mark Baker in the 53. There's Anthony Bates. There's Leonard in behind them. Oh, and James Wade's gone straight on that. I wonder if there's a bit of fluid down there at the chicane. Jonathan Candler, he can't carry on in that state, surely. No, he's coming into the pits. Wouldn't surprise me if he's got the black and orange flag there, because that bodywork hanging off the front would have been dangerous. Here comes the maestro of Anthony Bate, the number 70. I think the Golhar family have still got one of their old maestros as well. They used to compete. We're just running a bit wide there. We've seen Alan Forster in one as well before he brought the Montego estate out. Here comes Lewis Saunders, lights ablaze. And the young gun is taking on the modern cars again. Here comes the 1-2-1. Oh, and off goes James Wade. The 22 runs wide. Good save, but he's lost a couple of places. Darren Leonard moving up as well. And Lewis Saunders looking on. He's way ahead in Class A. Yeah, Jonathan Candler is out of the race. He's in the pits. Have we lost anybody else further back? No, we lost Mark Rehorski, didn't we? They're the only two retirements. There's Will Sharp trying to chase down Lewis Saunders in Class A. So the invitation class is now once again led by Ray Ferguson. Here's a little battle further back. Ray Lovell, number 97, with his MGB. Leads 172 Rob Fisher's version, the Londoner. Across the stripe goes the battle for 7th place. The car with the stripes, the 53. Mark Baker heading it. Simon Kendrick ahead of him leads the MGF class. They're about 13 seconds apart, those two. Here's our leader, still Scott Bugner, in the 25. Steve McDermott, reigning champion in 2nd place, but he seems to have met his match this season with this flying ZR of Scott Bugner. Meantime, the fastest lap of the race has been done by Meninda Golhar in 3rd place. He's only a couple of seconds behind them now. Can he catch these two? Are we going to have a further surprise? It's Andy Priest 4th, Phil Walker is 5th. There, a few seconds further back. Here comes McDermott. He's going for the lead in the number 1 car around the outside. Into the chicane. Bugner bunny hops over the curbs. Holds it together. McDermott, there isn't room for him to get around the outside. The MK Hydro dipping car. The Buckinghamshire driver, and Golhar's catching them. There's the 29 car, Meninda Golhar. It's been a long time since we've seen one of the Golhar family take a win in the MG Owners Club Championship. They were occasional winners. Nick Golhar was the quickest of them in the days of the Maestros. There's a lock-up there from Bugner. Or was it Bugner? No, it was one of the back markers. Ray Lovell's MGB, I think. The back markers, they've met them at the worst possible place there coming through the complex. And Ray Lovell, he doesn't know which side to go to get out of the way. Meninda Golhar is going to get through for 2nd place because Steve McDermott was held up briefly there. With 2 ZRs fighting side by side, Ray Lovell didn't know what to do. And Golhar's through for 2nd. Can he catch Scott Bugner? Are we going to have another surprise results here? We've seen Jonathan Candler as an interloper in the Bugner-McDermott battle. And Meninda Golhar, who was only a late entry for this weekend's racing, is going after the leaders. He set another fastest lap, 132.529. Nobody else has lapped under 133 yet. That's impressive. James Wade fighting back after his off earlier on. He's chasing Darren Leonard for 9th place. Anthony Bate in the Maestro ahead of them. Just behind them will be Lewis Saunders somewhere in the MGB. Here comes Golhar around the outside. He's going for it into the chicane. Can he get the car stopped? Oh, he's done it. Beautiful. Oh, he just takes some curb on the exit. He's a bit slow as a result of that. Bugner gives him a push. Lost momentum there going over the curbs, and Bugner wasn't ready for it. McDermott's ready to fight back though. Well, they got rid of Jonathan Candler earlier on. now they've got Maninder Golhar to contend with, and he's taken the lead. Still nearly 9 minutes of this race to go. This is going to be a good one. Big lock up again from Bugner. He's pushing hard. Seen that car bouncing around all over the place like Zebedee over the curbs. Darren Leonard still ahead of James Wade in the 22, one of our newcomers this year. Bugner's run wide, coming off Seagrave. This is a cracking race. The MG Owners Club really have put on some of the best racing I've ever seen from them this weekend. Steve McDermott, it looks like, has finally met his match after his couple of years of dominance with these two ZRs. It'd be great to see more appearances from Maninder Golhar if this sort of form is going to come from the number 29 car. He's pulling away. Now McDermott ready to attack. Bouncing Bugner again. See the car rocking about on its suspension there as he goes through Church Corner. Saw it doing it at Brands Hatch as well. Here's a couple of battling bees and midgets further back. Chris Millard's got ahead of Gary Puxty. Where are they in the overall classification? 18th and 19th. They'll soon be lapped by our leaders. Through the chicane, Maninder Golhar. McDermott's got through into second place, so that bit of bouncing for Scott Bugner has lost him some momentum, and he's down to third. McDermott with the wheel on the grass there. A little bit of trim hanging loose from the right rear corner there. Simon Kendrick still leading the MGF class. He's clear by about 13 seconds of Mark Baker, his rival. Others like Stuart Plotneck and Paul Wisby not here this weekend in the MGF class. Hopefully we'll see them back out later in the season. With so much interest, there are so many classic entries here this weekend. It's fantastic to see. But a new name has topped them as well, Lewis Saunders. Andy Heitman has just got ahead of him, the man who was excluded from the results of race 1 for passing under yellows. There's Mark Baker. Still heading Anthony Bate in the Maestro. James Wade behind him. Then we've got Leonard. And then it's Heitman in his yellow and grey ZR. Just over 6 minutes still to go here at Thruxton. The drivers, I'm sure, are enjoying every second of this. It's one of the friendliest championships in club racing. Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Now the leaders mired in a bit of backmarker traffic. These two blue bees and midgets that we saw earlier on. Gary Puxty trying to get out of Bugner's way. Look how tiny that MG midget is compared to the ZR. They got the moves done there before the yellow flag zone. Here's Lewis Saunders in the car taken to so many wins and championships over the years by the legendary Jim Bainham. Hopefully one day we will see Basher Bainham race again. The man behind the success of this championship, one of the ultimate unsung heroes of not just MGs, but British club racing. Harry Smith Racing says, "Come on, Lewis," in the comments. I believe Harry is one of Lewis's old junior saloon car rivals. Over the curbs he goes. Look at him throwing that MGB around, working the wheel. Absolute joy to watch. He's closing on Andy Height in the Mont ZR. The reason he's pushing on, you can see there, his class rival, Will Sharp, is closing on him. They're only a couple of seconds apart. There's Sharp in his midget. Anthony Bate around the outside of Ron Fisher, the back marker in his B. Here comes Darren Leonard through on the inside in the ZS as well. Well, this is certainly the best field we've seen from the MG Owners Club in a long time. Certainly been the most varied field and the best race action. There's Golhar, the race leader. Now that's not Scott Bugner ahead of him there, that's Ray Ferguson in the brickwork liveried car, the building contractor from Marlborough in Wiltshire. We can't let him through here because of the yellow flag, so Golhar's had to back off. Up they come. And that's let McDermott close in because they had to slow behind the back marker because they couldn't overtake him in the yellow flag zone. Now Golhar gets through. 4 minutes of the race to go. McDermott's right with him. Ferguson runs out wide as he lets McDermott through. Golhar actually pulls away a little bit once again. It's a great drive by Meninda Golhar. Rear bumper starting to come loose on the number 29. Now he'll be hoping that doesn't start dragging behind the car, because he could get the black and orange flag if that occurs. Let's hope that hangs together for him. The number plate cover, the Lancaster Insurance sponsorship, is hanging off there as well, so it's had a bit of contact somewhere. And here comes McDermott. He's got a run on him here, coming up towards Church Corner. They're almost side by side, but he moves across him and Golhar holds the lead. Meanwhile, Scott Bugner has dropped right back. He's 10 seconds down on these two now. So Scott Bugner, I think he's got some sort of a problem. Maybe there is something amiss with the suspension or the handling of his car. As he's dropped back, you can see on the timing tower, 10 seconds back. McDermott up alongside Golhar, who's got to defend for his life. Less than 3 minutes to go, so there'll be a couple of laps to go this time at the Thruxton Circuit. What a race to close out the weekend. McDermott, the champion of last year, challenging as hard as he can. Through the yellow flag zone they go. Here's the battle further back still. Mark Baker in 7th place, holding off James Wade, Anthony Bates, Darren Leonard behind them. Here comes the Maestro. A ZR, a MGF, a Maestro and a ZS. All we need is Lewis Saunders in there as well for the Classic division. Here's the MGF class leader up ahead of them. And here are the leaders. Can Meninda Golhar hang on to take the win? McDermott has a look, coming out of the complex up towards Noble. Can he get a run on him here? Into the left-hander, he'll have the inside line for Goodwood. He could get him here with a bit of luck. Into the right-hander, he's alongside, but no. Golhar just that little bit quicker. He doesn't want to run off too wide on the outside or get a wheel on the grass. Oh, this is close. McDermott tucks in. He'll try and pull out through Church Corner. There'll be 1 lap to go as they head to the line. McDermott, this time he's got the run on him. He's through. McDermott goes through, takes the lead. Terrific move into Church. And now McDermott has got to defend, because Meninda Golhar will be right back up with him as they come into the chicane, coming round to start the last lap of this incredible weekend. We've seen some fantastic racing here at the Thruxton Circuit. It's been one of my favourite weekends of the year so far. Has Steve McDermott done enough? Golhar's actually dropped back a little bit. That bumper is coming off. You can see it dragging behind the car now. Yeah, the bumper's come loose. See that move again? No, there's a replay of something else that's happened on the home straight. Oh, that's Will Sharp, and he's nearly spun into the pit lane. Lucky not to go backwards into the pits there. There go the leaders. Meninda Golhar, the bumper dragging behind him, but he's not slowing down. He's determined to try and catch up to the back of Steve McDermott once again. We're on the last lap now, so we won't see a black and orange flag for him, because there won't be time to give it to the 29 car. There's the bumper almost coming off. Leave our marshals a souvenir, I suppose. He's trying. I don't think Meninda Golhar's going to catch back up to Steve McDermott. There goes the bumper. That's it. It's an MGZR Superleggera now. He'll pick that up on his slowdown lap. Meanwhile, I think we've lost Scott Bugner. Yeah, he didn't come through on the previous lap, I don't think. So we've lost Bugner with a problem. But it's just between these two now. The last lap of the weekend here at Thruxton. The fans here this weekend and us on BARC TV have witnessed a truly wonderful weekend of racing. Here they come. Golhar closes. I don't think he's going to do it. It's going to be a win for the champion. Golhar tries to go across the curb. He won't get through that way. Tries to get up alongside, but Steve McDermott is just about going to hang on. He just takes the win by 0.2 of a second. Meninda Golhar second, and it's going to be Andy Preece in 3rd place. 4th will be Philip Walker, a better run for him than in race 1. Wait for them to come home. Here is Simon Kendrick. He's going to win the MGF class in 5th position. Scott Bugner, I'll tell you, is still going, but he's very slowly somewhere. So 3rd for Andy Preece, 2 podiums for him this weekend. Walker 4th, and here comes Simon Kendrick. He will win Class F, stymied by a spin in race 1. The gap did come down. There's Mark Baker in 6th, and still these two at it. Oh, the Maestro's gone straight on. at the chicane. This race never fails to entertain. Darren Leonard's going to be 7th. Anthony Bate will win Class B. He'll come in 8th place. There's the Maestro. Nearly went off on the chicane for the last time. 9th is going to be Andy Heitman. I think we've lost James Wade on the final lap. The 22 hasn't come through. There he is, so he's slowed on the last lap as well. James Wade comes over in 10th. And the classic class, Class A, is going to be won by Lewis Saunders. By a clear margin after Will Sharp had that spin. Ray Lovell and Robert Fisher, some lap traffic coming home. Here comes Will Sharp after his spin, just ahead of Jimmy Work. And there is a struggling Scott Bugner, so he does make the finish, 14th place. Something clearly amiss with the 25 car. What a magnificent race to finish with. Fair play to Meninda Golhar, he was the star of that race for me. Scott Bugner, his car hobbled by something. And there's the provisional result. McDermott, the winner, ahead of Meninda Golhar, who tried to attack him back through the final chicane, just 0.21 of a second in it. And 3rd place, full nearly 25 seconds back, was Andrew Preece. 4th place was Phil Walker, then Simon Kendrick beat Mark Baker to win the MGF class. Darren Leonard 7th, Anthony Bates, the Class B winner in 8th, then Andy Heitman and James Wade, who slowed on the last lap, round out the top 10. Lewis Saunders 11th, ahead of Will Sharp to win Class A. Then Jimmy Work 13th, Scott Bugner struggling to the finish in 14th. Ray Ferguson, the invitation class winner, was 15th. Then David Amflitz, Malcolm Hill, Chris Millard, Gary Puxty, Ray Lovell and Rob Fisher, the final finishers. Pulling into the pits on the final lap was Tim Rides. We lost Jonathan Candler into the barriers at the chicane, and Mark Rihorski was a first lap retirement. One last time then, let's hand down to Ian Waterhouse in Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race to finish with.
Welcome down to Parc Fermé. Yeah, the racing action is over for the weekend, but wow, what a way to finish that was. I didn't know where to look, I didn't know which way to turn. Somebody who fortunately did know which way to look and did know which way to turn is Steve McDermott, who actually... That's it, Steve. God, that's better, isn't it?
Straight ahead.
I'll let you get your helmet off first, but wow, that was a bit of a roller coaster, that one, wasn't it? It was all going on all over the track. Steve, I know you were a little bit disappointed on the race earlier, but that more than made up for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. As a proper race from start to finish. It was that little yellow part sort of added a little bit of spice to it, because first of all it worked for Mahinda. It got away because I got stuck, and it was like, oh no. But then the next lap it worked for me, closed it right up, and then I thought I've got to go for my I know there's only 2 laps left. I thought I've just got to go for it, and happy days.
Hey Steve, well done, mate. It's great to see you. Congratulations as well. We'll grab Mahinda shortly, but he's just having a quick chat. We've got Andrew Preece here again, and this is becoming a bit of a habit, isn't it?
I speak to you twice today.
Isn't it? Congratulations.
I wasn't expecting that at the start of the day.
Well, I've got to say, I mean, that race was chaotic. It was full of action. It was full of, everything.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's dead quiet for me. I didn't see anybody.
Well, I've got to say, well, looking on the live stream, for these guys it was anyway, but tell us about from post 2 down to post 4, we've got the yellows, of course, so it just added a different element from race 1.
Yeah, do you know what, the most difficult thing actually was coming around back markers. So I had one of the guys behind me racing me, but then I caught the back markers at just the wrong point, and you can't do anything. You've just got to wait till the complex to get through, so you just lose a ton of time if you catch them coming out of club. It's
So managing it, but well, hey, not too bad though for you. A pair of 3rd places, another couple of pots. Well done, mate. Cheers. Congratulations. Let's grab Mahinda as well, because it is a 2nd place for him. Here he is as well. You got to come do your media duties.
Hello.
Well done, mate.
Cheers,
That was full of drama, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to soak it all in. It was a great race. Really enjoyed it. I couldn't believe I was leading, but I got a bit caught behind back where we couldn't overtake here under the yellow, and Steve caught me, and I made a mistake into the complex and he got past. So that was it. Happy with 2nd. Great race. Steve.
Oh, there we go.
Really nice. Enjoyed that. Thank you. Well done. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Kept it clean. It was nice racing. First time I've been up there with them boys in that level. So yeah, happy with that. work on that, getting in front of them and keeping it in front next time.
There you go, mate. Well done. Congratulations, bud. Thanks for talking to us. Right, that rounds out the racing action. So I'm going to hand back to Dave.
Well, thank you very much to Ian Waterhouse and also to Pointy, first of all, down in the paddock for bringing us plenty of interviews this weekend. That does wrap up racing here on BARC TV here at Thruxton. First of all, thank you to everyone who stuck with us this afternoon through the enforced delay. I am pleased to report that everyone is okay after the accident in our truck race involving Neil Yates. Neil is perfectly okay as well. Full credit to the track team and the marshals and everyone else involved in rebuilding the barriers so we could continue racing. Thank you as always to all our volunteer marshals this weekend. We couldn't go racing at all without them. Also the medical staff, the recovery crews, all the track team and everyone else here this weekend, the race control staff, all the Thruxton Circuit staff for bringing us an excellent weekend of racing. Thank you to the drivers for their entertainment. Some of the very best racing I've seen this year has taken place here at Thruxton this weekend, and also to everyone's backup crews as well in the paddock. Thank you to our camera teams for bringing us the action as well, especially those who were braving the rain yesterday. And the big crowd here going home happy as well. I'm sure everybody else very happy indeed with a very satisfying show of racing. Apologies that we lost a couple of races towards the end of the programme, but safety first after that incident earlier on. The main thing is everyone is okay. Well, we'll see you again soon on BARC TV. But on behalf of Pointy, Ian Waterhouse and everyone else here at Thruxton, this is commentator Dave Goddard signing off here at the fastest race circuit in the UK here on BARC TV. Remember, motorsport should be fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye for now.